the biggest barrier is getting so focused on our own work and not connecting our work to what the business needs. I think that for me is the biggest barrier and a lost opportunity. Consider how your role impacts the business outcomes. Know what the business strategy, what the objectives, know what that is. Go looking for it if it's provided. Ask questions. The other thing is, if you see a recurring problem in your work, consider the system it exists within. I've got an example. So I worked in a role where it was labor relations. It was a lot of grievances, a lot of discipline. And yet I never stepped back to think, okay, look at the bigger picture. Why is so much of this happening? I mean, it's really intimidating to tackle a big system, and that was a big system. So I did my job within the system, but you're doing the organization a favor if you can step back and see the system and how can we change something upstream from those grievances, that discipline, to affect the number of grievances and discipline that in my role I was dealing with. So I wish I had done that. And so if audience out there, if you're seeing recurring problems, how can you step back? And in my case, it was so overwhelming to try and solve it, but maybe I could have found one leader who would have bought in to changing something upstream to create a different result. And yeah. And so I would say that if people in a role have that opportunity, do that. Think about where that most recurring problem and try and solve it.